No walkout. Good morning, Chantal. Good morning, Nietzsche. How are you? Good morning. Good morning, Mamarazzi, Pay Tribute, Prime Polls. Good morning. So the good news is no walkout. The Faja, good morning. Good morning, Nidia Dai. I probably said that wrong. Good morning, Dave from Alberta. Good morning to Yomez. Who else did I miss? Did I say hi to Prime Polls? If not, hello again. Or for the love of all things holy, stop trying to save us. Oh, hang on. We're going to turn off power saving. There we go. That should help. Okay. Good morning, Mr. Constant Confusion. Mr. Constant Confusion, we're in the same boat because postal strike. Oh, shit. I know. Good morning. Good morning, Timberwolf. So good news is there's no walkout this morning. The union has said we're just going to do work to rule, which is for this particular time is they're refusing overtime. So their union members have been ordered to refuse or have been asked. They can't actually order them. Have been asked to refuse overtime. So that means that there will probably be a delay in. Oh gosh, why are you woohooing me? I'm busy. All right, hang on. Do not disturb. Turn on. There we go. That's better. Hey, yes, but good morning, Louise. How are you? It's just today. They could change their mind on Monday. They could say, Canada Post refused to come to the negotiation table. We have no choice but to go on strike. They still have that option. So let's go through it, shall we? Good morning, Miss Chris. How are you? And everyone, please send some love right now. Top a whole bunch of hearts to tell Louise that we love him and we appreciate all the things that he does for us, considering that Canada is such a pain in the bum some days. We're awesome the rest of the time. Good morning, Magical A. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, dear Lord. Okay. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Our final boss. Good morning. Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to stop saying good morning to everybody. I apologize. I love you all. Okay, so it is Friday. There is no walkout today, no strike today. So all systems are go. Canada Post is still working today. All is good today. What is happening? Okay, so technically, Canada Post is the union is in a legal strike position right now. Currently, Cup W, which is the union's name, has decided to do work to rule rather than doing a walkout. All right. Sorry, I'm going to zoom out. There we go. It's doing a work to rule rather than a walkout. So they're going to refuse to do overtime. So here's how we got there. So I've gone through this before, so I'm not going to go through it again. You can take a screenshot if you're really interested in the great history. This will continue to get updated, and these the letters will get smaller as we go. Me. If anyone knows Kids in the Hall, I squish you. I squish. So May 23rd, they're now refusing overtime. Okay, that's where we are. So here are the possibilities of what could happen so you know what to expect. The Cup W, the union, could continue to do work to rule in different forms. They could do this no overtime and then they could refuse something else. I don't know. They have lots of options available to them. So they could continue this work to rule for a long time. They could do it for just a short time. Timberwolf says it's hilarious that it's overtime because my post office doesn't do overtime. Yeah, I don't think that Canada Post is like, oh God, no, you took away overtime. What will we do? But in some urban areas, they may be using overtime a lot when they have heavy amounts of shipping coming in. I don't know. The other option that they could do is they could start doing rotating strikes or rolling strikes, depending on how you like to put it. So I put it both ways. So that could start regionally. So instead of being a full national strike, it could be a rolling strike. Also, if the other possibility is unfortunately a national strike, and if that happens, the government could bring in back to work legislation. Canada Post Corporation could also lock out its workers. It could just say, you know what, we're not playing this game anymore. We're just going to lock you out. So there are lots of possibilities of what could happen. We are currently here at Cup W continues work to rule, or started work to rule. So that is the current situation. This is today's situation, is no overtime, which means a slowdown. If there's no overtime, when there's peak periods of extra packages and mail, the postal system will slow down. So expect some slowdowns, but not a lot, because as Timberwolf says, a lot of post offices don't have overtime. Okay, so if it goes to regional rotating strikes, regions will be on strike and not the whole country, which means you can still ship by Canada Post, but shipping delays can occur. So there is still the potential that we could go to a full national strike. This is just day one of attempts to negotiate, which so far have failed over the last 3 years. But miracles do happen. So if you can switch to chit chats, that is my personal recommendation. Take what you like and leave the rest of any of my shows. My personal recommendation is, if you have chit chats in your area, switch to chit chats to avoid all this crap. So I don't know if Louise is still in the room about the chit chat select. I don't know if they've switched over yet. So, dear Whatnot, we would love it if you could please switch the Canadian chit chats, the Canadian destination chit chats, to all chit chat select, so that it avoids Canada Post. Because right now you're using the Canada Post version. And so there are a lot of packages that get shipped through chit chats, but they're actually going to be delivered from chit chats to a Canada Post office and then to the customer. So, dear Whatnot, the only issue is we need to figure out how to warn people about post office boxes. Yeah, chit chats is currently redirecting, but but it would be so much easier if it was just not something. The thing is as much as chit chats is planning on redirecting, and they have been doing that, sellers not knowing that, they're not knowing that. They just see a Canada Post label getting printed and they freak. And then they're contacting support and driving support up the wall because they're getting tons of messages. It's already in the system. It picks the cheapest option between Chit Chat Select and Canada's. Okay. So it's in the system, but the system seems to be defaulting a lot to Canada Tracked instead. So might want to look at that. Okay, perfect. So Louise says if Canada Post strikes, they'll shut down the Canada Post Tracked. So that's basically what Whatnot is doing, is trying to find the cheapest option available. Good morning. The cheapest option available. And so if it's cheaper to ship through Chit Chats through Canada Post, then that's what the system is doing. So as soon as a full strike happens, it will only go to Chit Chat Select. Thank you for that answer. Thank you. Okay, back to the thingy. Hang on. Why won't it? I only have one fingerprint on this finger phone. Okay. Dave says, can we have another built-in option like Purelator or FedEx for us peasants that don't live in, oopsie daisies, in the center of the universe and no chit chats? And Louise says also, if that's the case, people should not use post office boxes since Select can't ship to post office boxes. Yeah, so it'll basically bring up an error message, and sellers are going to have, it's one of my slides. It's in my slides. Sellers are going to have to contact, this keeps, so there are some folks in the room right now who have no option. If we have to go to bring your own label and chit chats is the option, there is nothing in the area. On my email, they told me DHL and UPS options. No, who did Pac-Man Girl? Because Whatnot message said FedEx and UPS only. No DHL. No DHL. No. Whatnot's in, the person who wrote that email is in the room right now, and I read it yesterday on my show. It is FedEx and UPS, and I will get into that in a second. I will talk about that. So IBCC Shop is asking, can we switch to Canada Chit Chat Select now to avoid potential slowdowns if there's a strike? So the answer was asked and answered, and the answer is, at this time, there will be the two options. Chit Chats will redirect Chit Chats is already started doing some redirecting, that even though it says a Canada Post label, they were redirecting this week. So they were using their own system. So yeah, Pure Later would be an awesome option. Dear Whatnot. Adding Pure Later would be an awesome option because it has more routes throughout Canada because it's owned by Canada Post. It's a complicated thing, but internationally, Pure Later is still owned by Canada Post. So yeah. So Pure Later would be an awesome option to add to the list. I know it's not on the list this time, but who knows? Maybe we'll have Strike 3.0 and you'll be able to add it to that one. I hope not. Okay, back to my stupid PowerPoint. Hang on. All right, sorry. All right, so go to help.whatnot.com and there is a Chit Chats FAQ. You just have to search for the word Chit Chats, okay? Please note there are no locations, no Chit Chats drop off locations at all in Saskatoon, Manitoba, Newfoundland, and the territories. Jen's Attic Treasure says, my Amazon order started coming by Dragonfly. That's new. It's always come by Canada Post and it's coming fast. Yeah, so Dragonfly is what Chit Chats uses too. So you may start to see your Chit Chat stuff coming that way. So again, no locations in Saskatoon, Manitoba, Newfoundland, and the territory. So again, there is no strike happening right now. Okay. It is still on hold, but it could happen. So I want you guys to prepare just in case. So here are the British Columbia locations at this time. They're all in the greater Vancouver area. And I will talk about some other options that you have, okay? In Alberta, you've got Edmonton drop-offs and Calgary branches. In Ontario, it's mostly in the GTA with drop-offs in like London, Niagara Falls, near Ottawa, Peterborough, and I think I don't know what that other dot is, Brampton or something. Anyways, you can go to chitchats.com and find it for yourself. In Quebec, it's only Montreal. The end. In New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, and PEI, don't you know? The blue dots are the Maritime Bus Company. There's only a drop-off. There's only a official drop-off location at Halifax at Bedford Bay. Okay. The rest of them are drop-off locations. The blue dots are the Maritime Bus Company locations. You have to consolidate your boxes into one shipping box, and then you pay Maritime Bus Company to send it to Chit Chats in Bedford Bay, Nova Scotia. You can also, if you don't live close to a Chit Chats, you can also use Chit Chats' Canpar discount or your own courier. You consolidate your packages into big boxes, buy a label, and have the courier deliver it to a Chit Chats hub or branch. I know Vintiquity just did that for some packages that she had to send out. And Chit Chats Pure Later drop-off? Tell me more. Chit Chats Pure Later drop-off. That's new. They're rolling it out. Okay, sweet. All right. I assume you'll send a message. Send a message when you know info. Because right now they don't have that listed. So that sounds like a good plan. All right. So Chit Chats is going to be rolling out Pure Later. So stay tuned for that news. So they do offer pickup for Ontario and Quebec, but it's only for select clients. And currently they are not accepting new applications, as according to their website. Just note that with Chit Chat Select within Canada, the maximum weight is 20 pounds right now, according to their website. Thank you, Pac-Man Girl. Yeah, I just talked about the Ontario ones. That's just Ontario. So there's a maximum weight and there's also dimension. So you may, if you have a big, heavy box, when you try to generate a Chit Chats label, it may come up with an error. Okay. And you may need to split the boxes if you can. So unbundle if it's giving you an error because your box is too heavy or too big. But for most people, they're not shipping out over 20 pounds and they're not shipping out boxes greater than 22 inches. So you don't need to worry. Most of you are fine. So just a reminder that due to tariffs, made in China and Hong Kong can't be shipped to the US via Chit Chats. All right. They can't have that. So just be aware of that. And also, even if you're not using chit chats, make sure that you let your American buyers know that if something's made in China, because there are huge tariffs, which I've talked about before. I'm not going to talk about today. Here's something that I'd like you all to think about. Okay, this is an opportunity for us to build Whatnot Canada at the same time. Market your business locally and say, I offer local pickup. Okay, so why do I say this? How many times have you been out and about and you've talked to someone and you've said locally and said, I'm on Whatnot, but you forget to tell them that you can do local pickup? How many times have you done a Facebook post or an Instagram post? This is me. This is on me too. I haven't done this. I have not advertised to the people who follow me, who live in my area, that I offer local pickup. So what I need you to do is to start advertising that you do offer local pickup. If local pickup is something you're willing to do, put that out there on your social media. So friends and family will share it with the people that they know who live in your area who will do local pickup. I forget to say I sell on Whatnot, but you could pick up from me. I forget to tell people that. I just say, hey, I sell on Whatnot. And I hand them a card. And final boss, I think after that period of time, you can officially say that it's yours still. You get the money though. You already got paid out. I think it's now yours. I think it's yours and you can resell it. It's after after a certain period of time. You don't need it. I know, but if they don't pick it up at a certain, you can't hold on to it forever for them. Like seriously, if it's been a year. Okay, so start marketing locally for pickup. So let me give you an example. Yes, as Absolute Flipping Deal says, the more it's shared on social media by all of us, the more people are going to know about Whatnot in Canada. So it's like, I know that, look, it's not our job to advertise Whatnot. It's our job to advertise our own business that happens to be on Whatnot. So if you want more business locally on your Whatnot shows, if you would like to have more local people who come and watch your shows and then pick up your stuff and they skip having to pay the shipping, start talking about it. Again, not our job to advertise Whatnot. It's our job to advertise our business on Whatnot. Yes, they're accepting parcels. They're just not doing pickups right now because they were uncertain about what's going on. So they didn't allow scheduled pickups today because they thought there might be a strike. So they didn't want anyone thinking that someone was coming to pick up your parcel. So you can probably go now and book a parcel pickup because they're currently on a hold. They're going to be doing but yes, you weren't able to do pickups for today, but that doesn't mean they're not doing pickups ever again. So, but your local Canada Post office is open. So you'll just have to drop off. They're just being safe because we're living in uncertainty. Yep, drop off. So shipping. So the way to save on so this is an example of a little post that this is the wrong QR code. I just put a QR code as an example. That's a sign up genius for I can't even remember what. So don't use the QR code. You'll probably be signing up to drop off stuff at my auction or something. Anyways, something like this, and I have some on our unofficial Whatnot Canada Discord, I put a few examples that you could use, that you could put on your social media. Okay, I still need to do this, so this is a do as I say, not as I do moment. Okay, so if in the future, which I suspect in the future, eventually this is going to come to a head, and either the government is going to say enough is enough, and here's new legislation, and we've completely reorganized Canada Post, and so whatever. Anyways, it's probable that there'll be a strike in the future. Thank you. Thank you, Terry. So if the strike starts, Whatnot will activate Bring Your Own Label temporarily. There is an email that was sent out on the 21st. So 2 days ago, Whatnot sent out an email to all Whatnot Canada sellers with the information and links and everything. It's awesome. Well done. I love it. So go read that email and read it 3 times. Don't just read it once, read it 3 times, because y'all don't read the whole email. So read the whole email. Bring your own label will only be available through FedEx or UPS. Okay. FedEx or UPS. I know we had a big wish list, but they didn't have a lot of time because other things like the conversion in that took priority. And then, they were hoping there was going to be no strike, like we all were hoping there was going to be no strike. So cost to consider if bring your own label does happen. And now we have some time. We have a buffer. If it happens, we've got time now. Okay. We have some breathing room. So start putting aside, if you're going to have to use bring your own label, set aside some money, put it aside, or start paying off your credit card. So you're going to have enough money to buy labels, because you're going to have to purchase labels, and then you're going to have to you have to purchase labels, and then you have to put that information into Whatnot, and I will get into how you get your money later. So also consider, once the strike starts, adding some dollars onto your start bids or your buy it now prices to offset any additional shipping costs. So I'm not going to go into how you do it. We're going to, if it happens, I promise you can come over here. If the strike starts, you can come over here and I'll take you step by step through how to use bring your own label. So 7 days after you've entered a tracking number, Whatnot will release the funds to your account. Again, this is only going to happen, y'all, for Canadian sellers if the strike goes national. The dollars that you will get will be the item sale price minus fees and commissions, and then you'll get another line item. Oh my God, Terry, thank you so much. You're so sweet. You didn't need to do that. I love you. Everyone follow Buy Now Shop 59. Terry, you're amazing. The amount the buyer paid Whatnot for shipping minus 2.9% payment processing fee. Just remember that there is a payment processing fee. So whatever the buyer paid Whatnot for shipping. So if whatever their buyers are paying now is what you can expect that you will get from Whatnot, because that's what Whatnot is going to charge your buyers if you're currently using only Canada Post. Okay. Don't buy expensive labels and expect Whatnot to cover the cost. They're not going to. So your job as a business owner is to start doing some research. I need you to research whether or not Chit Chats is something that you can use. And then I need you to look at some of these other companies. Now, this is just a short list, okay? There are a lot of companies out there, and I'm not saying that any one is better than another. I can say that last time around, freightcom.com was the best for rates. So just a reminder, bring your own label will be only for FedEx and UPS. So don't start researching and doing a lot of heavy research into doing bring your own label with any company that's not offering FedEx or UPS. I don't care if it's faster. I don't care if it's cheaper. You're only allowed to use FedEx or UPS. Hashtag sorry, not sorry. It is what it is. That's the second hashtag. Hashtag it is what it is. So do your research and figure out which companies you can use with FedEx or UPS. If you go to FedEx.com or UPS.com, you're going to get super high rates and you're going to have a little bit of an anxiety attack because it is insanely expensive if you go to them. But these companies have cheaper rates because they pool, and they basically have better buying power because they pool all of us together, all of our orders. And so instead of like 100 orders here and 5 orders here and 3 orders here and 1,000 orders here, you end up with way better rates. So let me just flip back over. Flippity doodah. Okay, so research. Another reminder. If you are a buyer on Whatnot shows in the US and anywhere else in the world except for Canada, make sure you research mail forwarding companies that you can use so you can still buy from US Whatnot shows. And I would even recommend that if you are concerned that your purchases are going to get tied up at if a strike happens, you need to either stop buying from international buyers now before we get locked out, because as soon as there's a national strike, a full national strike, Whatnot will need to stop international buying by Canadians. So make sure you're doing your research. You can switch now to a mail forwarding company. I will say, do not use myus.com. They have hidden fees and they hose you. And they also use DHL, who then hoses you on customs charges, customs broker fees. So yes, I'm using the word hose because I'm a Canadian and you'll just have to live with it. Okay. If you use a post office box, you will have to find an alternative address for ordering on Whatnot. Yes, exactly, Mamarazzi. There's hosers and then there's getting hosed, eh? You get hosed. Those people hose you. So if you use a post office box, find an alternative address for ordering on Whatnot so that you can because now post office boxes are at the post office, which is owned by Canada Post. I've had way too many people message me and go, but no, I'll still be able to get deliveries at my PO box. It's fine. No, it's not, because it's a post office box. And if the post office closes, the post office boxes will not get filled. They'll still be there. You can still walk in and open up the little box and look at the empty hole, but you will not be able to actually get any mail put in there until the strike is over. So switch to an alternative address. If you had a PO box for safety because you didn't want strangers on the internet getting your home address, figure out another address you can use. A friend, a family, your work, a business down the street that likes you. Oh dear, they're not on strike, Ivers. So I'm sorry, you can't go and there's no strike. So I'm sorry to disappoint you, but you're not going to be able to go and troll the strike, because no strike right now. They're working to rule. They're not doing overtime. You could I mean, if you want to, you could have a sign and you could run back and forth or walk back and forth in front of your local post office saying nasty things about people who are inside working, but that's up to you. You do you, boo. I wouldn't recommend it, but it's your legal right. I may be morally opposed to what you do, but I still will defend your legal right to say whatever it is you want to say, unless it is to incite violence, hate, or harm. There you go. Please note, we do have a criminal code about that, so don't do anything that's against the criminal code, and then you'll be fine. All right. So keep moving forward. Please don't panic. We've been through this before and we made it. So schedule your shows, market your shows, share. Don't say, I'm not going to do a show because there might be a strike, because you could be living in limbo for weeks. This could go on. This limbo of them just doing work to rule could go on for weeks and weeks and weeks. Or tomorrow they could change their mind. It's a little bit of a game right now. So this is the negotiations like this are a big chess game with them moving pieces around, and we are just the pawns. Okay. Yeah. Magical A says it's happened before. It can happen again. So plan as if there's going to be a strike soon, but know that. So make sure that you have a plan in place. So if a strike happens, you know what to do and you're not suddenly scrambling, trying to figure out what's going on. Yes, EastEnder Resales is doing her very first show at 8 p.m. tonight. And I'm so happy that there's no strike. So EastEnder Resales, everyone follow and bookmark EastEnder Resales' very first show. She had booked it for the 23rd and then found out there might be a strike. And she's like, I'm still doing it no matter what. Bless her. So again, no strike today. That could change at any moment. They could change their mind today. The Canada Post could do something nasty and upset the union, and the union says, fork you, now we're going to go on strike. So I have my bugs. I have my bag of mixed bugs. They are actually from Thailand bugs, but it's hard to find bugs in Canada that aren't already in powder form. So if there is a strike, I have this bag of bugs that I bought during the last strike that we were going to celebrate, and then Dee and I couldn't get together. Anyways, I've promised that if there is a strike, full national strike, please note, full national strike, I will eat 1 bug a day until I run out of bugs or the strike ends. So there you go. So I'm really freaking hoping they are salted, but I'm really, really, really freaking hoping that I do not have to eat these bugs. Yeah, they're real bugs. They're real actual bugs. They're all dehydrated. Grasshoppers, mole crickets, silkworms, field crickets, sago worms, and then they added salt. I know. Chantel, it's because Peacock Jewelry dared myself and Dee. It's a long story. The Lion King worm first. This one. Should I eat this one first? I will. Anyways. Okay. I will eat this disgusting thing first. If I forget, remind me. Maybe I should circle it. Do I have a pen around? I don't have a pen around. So I'm hoping that I do not have, I am really praying I do not have to eat these. It probably is just going to taste, and I also have mustard soda to drink. So I'm going to have to drink mustard soda and a bug on the first day of a full national strike. So I really don't want to. Oh yes, that's right. I remember. Yeah. It's juicy and delicious and full of protein. But it's not going to be juicy. It's going to be dehydrated. I might dip them in hot sauce so I can't taste it. Which is going to be, I'll have to get some Canadian hot sauce. I'll dip it in some of my Canadian hot sauce. Magical Ace says, I like the idea of sellers challenging each other on stream. Yeah. So lovely, Iris. Thank you. I'll pass. There's maybe a ton of content. Yeah. So there you go. That's the update on the strike. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask your questions. Here I am, waiting for your questions. Share your shows. Tell us what you have going on this weekend on. Hey, Broody Tootie. It's up in my show notes. Read the first line of my show notes. That pretty much gives you everything you need to know. And then you can watch this again on YouTube. But basically, there's no strike today. No strike today. We're good today. Tomorrow, I don't know. So yes, so Mamarazzi Fine says Sunday is the Dainty Lady Raid Train. It's going to be amazing. Lots of great sellers on. So if you're in that raid train, wave and say hello. There's also the Thrift Gift Raid Train. The Thrift to Gift Raid Train is on Sunday as well. That's my monthly raid train. Shop with Tasha is doing the Dainty Lady Raid Train as well. Melody's in both or just Thrift to Gift. I can't remember. You can be in as many raid trains as you want. She's doing both. Awesome. There are some, when you sign up for a raid train, it will tell you in the information, make sure you read all the rules. It will tell you whether or not you're allowed to. So if there's a strike, how will it affect raid trains with international buyers? So if you are a Canadian seller, it will not affect your international buyers because they'll still be able to buy from you. You'll just be shipping either by Chit Chats as normal, or you'll be shipping through FedEx or UPS. Melody, I always find it fun when I have to do 2 raid trains. I don't often sign myself up for them though, but I always find it a little bit invigorating. And then I'm exhausted afterwards. But we Canadians won't be able to buy on Whatnot with our Canadian addresses outside of Canada. So we'll be able to buy in Canada shows. We just won't be able to buy outside of Canada shows with our Canadian address. Oh, you'll be great, Melody. It's all good. Okay, so feel free to ask questions, share your shows, all that kind of stuff. This weekend's going to be super busy, super busy. So I think I have a show book today, but I am going to skip it because I need to do my setup for this live auction. So yeah. And 2 of the people that I was hoping were going to be hired to work with me and super soggy. Yeah. So, I now have to find 2 extra people. I'm hoping Mamarazzi finds that I can stream my live auction on YouTube. It just depends on the setup. I have to figure it first. The priority number 1 is making sure that the that the signal is going to be okay for the auction software, because we're going to be running off the cloud. So for like entering in the bids and everything, being able to print off people's receipts, all that fun stuff, that all has to be done through the interwebs. So I need to have that all set up. So that's like priority number one. I also need to dig out my security cameras to bring to set up as well. But yeah, there will be hidden cameras all over the place, because but those hidden cameras will not be used for broadcasting live on the internet. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Donna. Right now I just need sanity. The tractor trailer is not coming because it's too wet in the farm to bring it out. So my backup plan is, if we need it, there's a U-Haul. But also we're going to put tables inside and fill those up at, where it is. So we've got a big tent. We have a big tent outside. So we do have a marquee, so we'll be covered. So it won't be so wet, but all right, I gotta catch up with all of your shows that you guys are announcing that I'm missing. Melody says to Jen's Attic Treasures, I saw your vintage dress is so pretty. Yes, Jen is a buyer here on Whatnot. She bought a whole bunch of stuff from Storage Share, gorgeous vintage clothing, and she put it up on her Instagram, and it's amazing. Angie says, I have to move my show from today to Monday afternoon. Yeah, that's good. Everyone, please follow Angie's This and That. She's got a show coming up on Monday afternoon. And Iris is looking for an old Lee denim jacket with a maroon or red kind of tab. I assume that's some sort of collectible thing. Now you have me gonna look for it. Everybody look for it and then tag Iris when you find it, and make sure you charge him a lot of money, because he pays way too much money for t-shirts in the States. So, I'm just kidding. Well, no, I'm not kidding about you paying too much money for t-shirts, because it's just a dang t-shirt, crying out loud. That's like expensive paper. But then, I'll be like, look at this pottery. This pottery's worth a lot. The Crazy Bee Lady, hi, Linda, says, I'm doing a show today at 1:00 and again at 8. I'll be telling a story about my discoveries in these 1943 newspaper clippings. Then I'll be selling newspaper clippings, full newspapers, antique photos, magazines, sheet music, and play piano rolls. Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. Ivers, you're on TikTok now too? Oh dear. You're on the Tickers Talk. You're on the Ticker Talk. The key to getting enough, do you have enough followers so that you can go live? The key is to go into the Nigerian shows and say hello there. They follow you like crazy. Nigeria is my friend. Just, just in case you need to get to like 1,000, I think. I can't remember. I can't remember how many you need to get to on Ticker Talk. I got to it, then I'm like, I do not need any more followers now. I'll just go live. And then I was like, I don't want to go live anymore. Melody says, I'm thinking of doing a true vintage show. Just need to push myself, scared to sell clothes on here. Or just bring them all to our vintage market and then sell them live with us. We'll sell them with you at the show. And we'll do a live show. Mom Rotzi Fine says, I'm hoping to do a show this afternoon, but need to bring your daughter to the doctor. Well, family comes first. Family first, right? Always remember, everyone, please don't put aside family for Whatnot. Do family first. Family, friends, community, your job, if you have a job. Do that first. Whatnot second. We'll be here when you come back. Timberwolf says, I sell expensive shiny cardboard. Yes, you do. Ivor says, I have to pay $248 to get my shirt out of the mail this week. You have like 6 followers. All right. Message me and I'll log into TikTok. Size 40. Size 40. Please note, Ivor is looking for a size 40 Lee denim jacket with the maroon or red tag. Oh my gosh, Timberwolf says I paid $267 in duties yesterday for 2 packages. Yeah. Just a reminder, if you buy clothing on Whatnot, that is tariffed. If it's made in, if the clothing is made in the USA and you're bringing it into Canada, it's a 25% tariff. So, so make sure to double check. And if the seller is a Whatnot seller, ask them to write down where it's actually made. If it's not made in the US, ask them to write that down on the packing slip, so that because then you can do an appeal, because Whatnot system automatically says everything's made in the USA. And so you're getting tariffed on every single piece of clothing that's made in the USA, because as far as they're concerned, that's what's on the declaration. So if that's on the packing slip, if they write on the packing slip, then what you do is when you go to the post office to pay your CBSA bill, you can then ask for a appeal. And you have to, in this case, you have to send the package back to CBSA. It gets returned to Canada Border Service Agency, and then they will look through everything in the box, and if things are obviously tagged that say not made in the USA, then they can lessen your the tariffs you have to pay, because it's not your fault if the declaration is wrong. If you bought items that weren't made in the USA, or vintage, I mean, I don't know where were vintage t-shirts made, probably in the USA back in the day, once upon a time in my day. But then people also worked for pennies. But hey, good news, I think it's Florida is going to there's some change where children are not considered dependent children after the age of 7, so they'll be able to go to work. So good news, there might be cheap labor in the States to make t-shirts now. So Timberwolf asks, when you appeal, do they charge another fee to go through it? No, they are not. They cannot. It's part of the service. Is if you appeal their decision, they do not charge you for looking through the package. They're not. They're a government agency, so they have to. So I mean, if it's a malicious appeal, they might tack something on. Like if you just appealed for the sake of appealing. Oh, you're selling one. No, we should get you another. Okay, so Ivers has a Lee denim jacket, size 40, with a red tag or a maroon tag. What is it? A red? Oh, 3 of them. Ivers has a handling fee. Yeah, as far as I know, there is no handling fee for them unless you every Ivers needs jackets. Everyone please message Ivor if you have a jacket. Just Oh yeah, now Melody wants to know how much you want for it. Is it in your buy it now right now? Yeah, and okay, so let's do the thing where we share our shows and say where we're from and what we sell, so we can all follow each other, and then we will we'll raid somebody, because we can celebrate the fact I don't have to eat a bug today. This is day 1 of not having to eat a bug. Day 1 of limbo. Do you remember last time around when we were in limbo, I played the limbo song every morning? I've decided not to do that because sometimes Alexa plays a song that's got the N word in it. That's a limbo song, but with the N word in it. And that just, yeah. So I'm afraid to ask her to play a limbo song. I didn't know. Yeah, I know. It's like, I mean, I don't want to make judgments about other people, but yeah. My Alexa is actually racist. If you ask her, hey, Alexa, was Hitler a racist? She won't answer. Did you hear that sound? Alexa, was Hitler a racist? Do you hear that sound? That's all she does. She won't answer. No, he wasn't a racist. Of course he was a racist. Alexa, was Hitler a homophobe?
Sorry, I don't have an answer for that.
Oh, Timber. Alexa, was Hitler a nationalist? She won't answer me at all. Did Justin wear blackface? Yeah, I don't know. But so my Google, if I ask my Google, Google will have a whole thing about the Holocaust and information about the Holocaust if I ask about any of them. Yeah, and she's just basically like, I refuse to answer that question, which is a pretty basic freaking question. Like, Mein Kampf has lots of racist drivel in it. Like, there is no way that you can't say he wasn't a racist or a homophobe, but she just refuses to answer. She's listening to me right now. She can report back to the great keepers of information. Does this mean Jeff Bezos is a racist? Um, I don't know. I don't think he is, but what do I know? He's just rich. Angie's this and that says, I'm in Listowel, Ontario, Canada, and sell lots of items. Family Fashion Raid Train on the 15th of June. Please send a private message and join the fun. She has a few spots still open for her raid train. So just DM Angie's this and that and say you are interested in her raid train. If you're interested in the links to my raid trains, just send me a message. So yes, there you go. Could I, unless you're asking a not a Yahtzee, we say Yahtzee. I could ask her that, but no. I'm just tired of asking Alexa questions and not getting answers because I don't even know like why that can't be answered. It's not like it's up for debate. It's not up for debate. Okay, let's see who's on right now. We have hockey cards. We have more hockey cards. Oh, there we go. All right. You know where we're going to go? When we go into this room, everyone needs to, good morning, Great White Bricks. No, no, no. Oh yeah. Nuri also has raid trains. So much fun. So when we go into this show, this guy is a new Canadian seller and he's doing men's vintage clothing. So what I need you to do is we're going to go in and we're going to ask him if he has any denim jackets for Ivers because Ivers really wants a denim jacket. So, yes. So that is what we're going to ask is do you have a denim jacket for Ivers? Let me just type it in cuz I haven't been here before, but he seems like a nice guy. 28 thrift. He's got two people in his show right now. So let's go in, let's show him a lot of love and 28 thrift. We're going to go hang out, okay? Love you guys so much and I'll see you later. Here we go. Oh, and Ivers doesn't actually need a jacket. I'm kidding.